Hello. Today I want to present a short, hopefully very short presentation on how to update your Irena and Nika installation. In other words, how do you perform maintenance of your Irena and Nika tools inside Igor Pro. Um, I made two slides here, so the next one identifies the steps. So it's just a few steps. What you need to do is get the file called ghinstaller Irena Nika version, and current version today, which is November 2019, is version 1.08. As patches are going to be applied, this number is going to go higher. So find the last one. You find it on a page for the software. This is actually the main starter page, but it is listed on, it linked to every page for Irena, Nika, and so on. You can find it either by Googling Irena, Nika, Ilavsky, or just going to this link, or there is a way to get to that page from running Irena installation. So you can always get to it somehow and download that file, ghinstaller. This of course applies only to Igor 7 and Igor 8, and by now you should all be considering upgrading to Igor 8, since Igor 7 will not be updated anymore. Anyway, so also make sure that you are on a connection where you can easily download the approximately 200 or so megabyte zip file, and that you have enough space on your hard drive to put it up there, which shouldn't be a problem today, but mainly that your internet connection is reasonably fast. You may want to update Igor Pro, like today actually, or this week. Wavemetrics pushed up a new Igor Pro version, so it's currently 8.04. So it's always a good idea to just update the latest available version so any bug fixes are fixed. And then you just simply run the ghinstaller, and I want to show you how you can decide what is it you want to update to, and what you want to do, because it seems to be need some questions answered once in a while. So let me minimize that. Here is the ghinstaller. I'm going to start the file itself. It's going to start Igor Pro, and you can see my version is 8.04.2. If you want to make sure that Igor checks for the updates, you can simply go to Updates for Igor Pro from a Help menu and check on the updates, and Igor should go out and tell you if there is a new version or not. So now I'm running the latest version of the installer, and I'm going to go up here to a choice install packages. If you do not see this, once in a while it may happen that your Igor is not set to automatically compile macros, and in that case out here would be a choice in the macros, compile macros, and then this would appear. But by default Igor comes up with the choice of automatically compile the macros. So when you see this, you just go in and say open GitHub GUI. Now it opens up lots of these things, so let me just explain. First thing is, this is a help. This walks you through the steps. This is basically what the current movie is going to be about, and you can see that there is a link to the movie, the original movie to it. There is a link to the manuals, how to do it, and there's a link to a page which describes some installation issues which you may have and how to address them, because once in a while there are things I just cannot fix. Anyway, so this is your help. You can follow this. The other one is, this is an updated message. This one I update maybe twice a year, and it contains some important information in the last few months or so. This one is from September 2019. Anyway, so these are your reading materials. Read those, enjoy those. Now let's talk about the installing. First thing is, we need to find out what is available on your computer and what is available on the network. So check packages versions runs a code which downloads from the GitHub an information about what versions are available there, and it also downloads from the local version what you have on a local computer. And interestingly enough, the release version is 2.68 by running 2.69, and that's because I'm already running a beta version here. We'll actually install one of the beta versions just for the fun of it. And The other choices, so out here you can pick which packages you want to install. We have, so I'm going to install Irena, Nika, and actually Indra, which is the USEX package. You can also then uninstall them, so you can check all the checkboxes you want to uninstall and uninstall. If you uninstall any package, you probably want to reinstall the package which you want to use, if there is any package you want to still use. Now, if you cannot get on the network properly and your Igor is not allowed to download the 200 megabytes or so of the data off the network, you may need to use a local folder. If you want to use a local folder, you have to download the GitHub zip file manually, and there should be a description in here somewhere which describes what to do. And then unzip it, and after checking this checkbox, you would point the installer to that folder. Anyway, so now if you don't check this checkbox about including beta releases, you will have the releases which are available. And you can see that I usually leave like 4 or 5 latest releases just in case people run into troubles with a new release, that there is a bug or something. So the latest release is actually December 2018. That's a long time ago. I hope to make a new release soon. There are basically every 6 months before that would be another release there. So you can go back in time on that. If you want to go with the newer versions, which may not be full releases, but may contain some fixes or updates, if you check this include beta releases and click down here, you can now see is that there are some, there's a new release here in May 2019, and there's a few more of those. Typically there will be 1, at most 2 newer releases, which would be the beta releases. I am trying not to keep too many beta releases in there. And the beta releases are removed where the new full release is pushed out. So there's no beta releases before December 2019 and 18. However, there's also a release called Master, and the Master release is basically the very last current version in the GitHub. For example, I pushed in some latest bug fixes in the GitHub today, just about 20 minutes ago. That is already part of the master release. So if you run into troubles and I have made a fix for you, the master release would be the release which would contain that. So you have a choice of regular releases, that will be 2018 and anything before that, December 2018 before that. You have a choice of a beta release from May 2019, and then there is a master release, which is the current one. So I'll just pick the master release. If you pick the master release or the other beta release, these numbers here are saying developer version. Basically, that's a version which is not properly numbered. So it has a number, but it's not properly numbered. At this moment, it's 2.69, but there is no letter or anything with that. And so I'll just check these things. I haven't been releasing or changing the XOPs for some time, so I'm going to leave them off. And then once you are ready for that, you simply hit install. And what happens is down here, you will see that it's telling you what is happening. So down in the history area, it's now telling you I'm downloading the zip file from wherever that GitHub is. And this will take a time. It depends how quickly you can download the approximately 200 megabytes. Then it does unzipping on that. So at this moment, it takes the zip file and unzips it and puts it on the desktop as a folder. That is the folder which, if you want to install from local depository, you would have to download manually and create manually. Now that takes some time and takes more time than I'm expecting. Okay, now it copied the files from the temporary directory onto the folder, and once it's there, it now goes and it deletes the old version of each file in the distribution from your computer and copies the new version which you downloaded from GitHub in its place. And when it's done, it says we finished successfully, delete the distribution file folder, and so on. So I'm just going to say OK. It then rescans your local user procedures and tells you what is the version and what is the release version. The release version is the current release version, so it's the latest release version is this one, and you can see basically updated to a newer versions. Each one of these is one higher, so these are basically the beta versions on that. Now what do we need to do next is we actually need to go and just make it, oh come on, get smaller, and now we need to clean up this place here. So this is a record. If you open it up, you will see that it tells you exactly what happened. This is everything which was in the history area. In case something goes wrong, this file, if you send it to me, tells me what went wrong and why. So if an installation fails, it would be nice of you to send me this install record. This is the file we downloaded from GitHub, so it's only 56 megabytes, so fine. And this one is the folder which we have unzipped. So this is the original file we got. This is the unzipped version from which we copied the files in the right place. Now I suggest that you keep the GH installer file, but don't change it. So if you quit now and say no, I don't want to save it, you now have the original plain vanilla installer, the same you downloaded from the web. You can go in and delete these all three files. And now if you start your Igor Pro, and then go in and say, show me, for example, Irena. Irena will come up. And, by the way, every month or so, you should get this check. So this check, when it comes up, it says the version which you have is 269. The web version of the latest release is 268, and actually provides you with some of this information here. It tells you what and how. It also has links to the various manuscripts you should be citing when using different tools. If you want to know this out of time, so this happens every month. If you want to know this at any convenient time, you can go down here and say check for updates, and it does the same thing. So this check of updates gets around once a month. You can run it manually when you want, and if you and since it now is running and compiled, everything is probably right. So you can start it up and everything should be working. If you get a compilation error, then something did not get installed correctly, and then you're probably gonna need to talk to me and we need to figure out what failed. Okay, so that's it all. By now we have updated Igor and updated packages to the version which we want. You can install any version you want. You can go back in time and install version from 2017, 2018. If something has changed and you don't like it, you can always go back, and you can also install the beta version or the master version, which is like the ultimate beta version. So good luck with it, and hopefully everything's going to work for you.